It took me a few seconds to realize that I wasn't alone. I was at the entrance to my apartment, taking my coat off, ready to rush in and fall straight on the couch with bliss, when I suddenly noticed that the light was on. I held my breath and listened. A soft noise came from the living room. Someone breathing. I listened with more intent. Just one person. It was a familiar breath, a powerful one, but there was something hostile to it, almost sinister. The front door was still open behind me. Slowly, I turned and started retracing my steps.
Out late, Miss Evans?
I stopped. It was a man's low voice. I'd heard it recently, and then the door shut behind me, locking itself. It was someone with magic. A shiver passed through my body. Did someone find out about me? If not, would I get exposed now? I took a deep breath. I noticed I was clenching my fists and relaxed them. I can do this. I'm a witch. My powers are active now. I shook my head and then walked straight into the living room. On my large couch was Edward Davies. Edward?
Julie.
What are you doing here? I tried to hide how shaken I was by the discovery that he was a mage. Of course I couldn't have known. I met him before my powers returned. Still, it came as a complete surprise. What the hell was he doing in my apartment?
Why don't you take a seat?
He waved his hand, and one of my armchairs turned toward me. I remained standing.
Take a seat, please.
Edward spoke slowly. Edward, it's late. Perhaps we could arrange.
Believe me, Julie, this is the best time.
He was wearing gloves, and he took one of them off. On his hand was a tiny golden ring. It had a rare stone ornamented with a 7-pointed star, the blue diamond. I froze at the significance of his status. The blue diamond was recognizable by anyone in the magical world. It was the 1,000-year-old symbol of the Guild, the oldest surviving order of mages in the universe, and the highest magical authority in existence. There were 100 such rings, and about 70 or 80 mages had one at any point in time. Long ago, my father had been one of them. A second shiver passed through me, and the blood in my veins went cold. I had used magic accidentally today with Mark. I'd have to be extra careful now, to restrain any hint that my powers had returned. Slowly, I obeyed Edward's request and took a seat. He looked at me quietly, waiting. I took a better look at his ring. It had 2 white diamonds, one on each side of the azure one. I looked up. You're the new head of the guild?
Yes, I was appointed 2 months ago.
I swallowed slowly. They normally waited 100 days to publicly announce the new head. It allowed them time to secure their position and prevent any dangerous maneuvers from people outside the order. So you're on secret time, I said. He nodded, confirming my assumption.
And I'd appreciate it if everything you find out tonight stayed between us.
Of course. He observed me, a testing expression in his eyes. Then he pulled out a large envelope.
The Guild has taken interest in someone you've recently met.
He opened the envelope and took out a photograph. It was a picture of Mark. I held my breath.
I think you know him.
I had to think fast. Hardly. Only from the party last night. Edward didn't move.
You were seen together tonight.
How much did he know?
You may hardly know him, but it's clear he wants to know you.
Why did he care? What was Edward up to? There was no way he could know that I was Mark's guardian. I had been very careful to avoid detection, not casting any major spells, and apart from my father, I hadn't told anyone that my powers were back. I looked at the photograph. It would be terrible if this is what Mark would need saving from, an order of mages so powerful that it would be beyond my ability to protect him against it. And why would Marcus Ralston possibly interest the guild? Edward eyed me, this time with a sharp, analytical look.
You don't seem to be very attached to the guy.
Was it a question or a statement? Like I said, I hardly know him. He's just one of Kendra's acquaintances. I've dated his type before, I lied.
I'm sure you have.
They're nice at first, but they're kind of all the same after a while. I had to say something to make Mark seem more of a casual man to me. Edward sat back, his expression relaxed. I breathed out slowly. He bought it.
If he's nothing to you, this is going to be easy. You'll know how to play the game.
What do you mean? Edward smiled broadly.
How about we start with the perks? There's a lot in it for you, if you accept my offer.
He pulled out a large suitcase. I'm not short on cash. He stopped and looked at me grimly.
I would never do a witch like you the dishonor of trying to buy you with money.
Edward waved his hand. There was a click. The lid lifted and the suitcase opened in front of me. Inside was the one thing a witch would give anything to have. Another blue diamond. My eyes opened wide. This was the greatest honor in the magical world.
I'd like to offer you a position of royalty.
Edouard took out the ring and offered it to me. The diamond shined at me with a strange bluish glow, and when I looked at it, it seemed that time had stopped, and I could almost feel the cosmos and the magic of generations of witches who had worn this ring.
Magnificent, isn't it?
It has a finery I've never seen on any other ring. Edward smiled.
You have a sad story, Julie. You had to give up your powers because the guild didn't protect you when you were in danger. Not something we are proud of. Your family has kept its distance from the guild since that night, and we'd like to remedy what pain we can, starting with you. The day your powers return, you will be one of us.
Us? What connection could I possibly want with the man who was threatening Mark?
Just imagine, Julie, your powers shared with the Order. You could pull on the united magic of all of us.
He put the ring into my hand.
You should try it on.
Not in a million years. The last thing I needed was for the many mages of the guild to feel through that ring that my powers had returned. I gave it back to him. I am not eligible, he laughed.
You're very humble, Julie. I like that. But we are offering you the place for the potential. We know you will get your powers back someday.
I pointed to Mark's picture on the table. How does all of this relate to him? Edward got up. I got up too.
Mark is, of interest. Don't worry about the details. We will give you instructions in time.